Assalamualaikum and hi to Madam Dr. Nohani and to my fellow classmates. My name is Muhammad Mirza Primota. I'm from BA2423A and today I would like to present to you all about the past year question which is June 2014, question 5 C and D regarding topic 8 which is ISLM model. So let me start. This is the question for past year question June 2014, question 5. By using ISLM model, explain the impact on interest rate and GDP when there is a decrease in net export spending and an increase in price level. So, for question 5C, a decrease in net export spending. First of all, importing and exporting activity of a country can influence the GDP, its exchange rate, and its level of inflation and interest rates. The change in net exports is ambiguous. This is because we cannot easily predict whether the drop in imports outweighed the drop in exports. A rise in interest rate will make your currency more desirable to be stored in the bank. Thus, people overseas will demand it more and as such the value goes up. This means that exporters now are selling the same good with the same profit margin at a higher price. Exports bring money into the country, which increases the exporting nation's GDP. When exports decrease and import increase, net exports will decrease because net exports are a component of a real GDP. The demand for real GDP declines as net export decreases. Next, net export are a measure of a country's total trade, where the total export minus the value of its total imports. It is a measure used to aggregate expenditure or gross domestic product of a country in an open economy. As shown in figure 1, the decrease in net export spending causes the IS1 curve shift leftward to IS2. The equilibrium point for both good market and market for money moves from point 2, intersection of LM1 and IS2. The decrease of net exports causes the interest rate to decrease to I2 and aggregate output decrease to Y2. So, next is question 5D, an increase in price level. In the case of increasing on the price level, the average price of all goods and services produced will increase. Inflation is calculated as the percentage rises in the country's price level at some period, usually a year. This indicates that in that period in which the price level increases, inflation is occurring. Therefore, studying the effect of increase in price level is equal to studying the effects of inflation. When inflation is high, people will either spend it or invest it before the money loses value. This is particularly true in hyperinflation environments. Hence, higher inflation rate increases the velocity of money, which increases inflation even more. As with inflation, higher price levels will also increase the demand for money. In this figure, it shows that the shift in the LM curve when money demand inclines. The LM curve shifts to the left from the LM1 to LM2 when money demand inclines because, as indicated in panel B, the equilibrium interest rate increases from point A to point A prime at any given level of aggregate output. As shown in figure 2, rise in the demand for money would shift the LM curve to the left. Consider point A on the initial LM1 curve. Anticipate an unexpected financial panic occurs, then it will cause many companies to fall bankrupt because bonds have now become a risky asset. People will want to shift from holding bonds to holding money as people are mostly risk averse. They will hold more money at all interest rates and output levels. The resulting increase in money demands at an output level of YA is shown by the shift of the money demand curve from MD1 to MD2 in panel B. The new equilibrium in the market for money infers that if aggregate output is constant at YA, then the equilibrium interest rate will increase to IA prime and the point of equilibrium will move from A to A prime. Conversely, a drop in money demand leads to a rightward shift of the LM curve. The fall in money demand leads to an excess supply of money, which is distracted by a rise in the quantity of money demanded resulting from a diminish in the interest rate.